double Diwali bonus to the staff member at ESPN Cricket who came up with that outstanding photo for the IPL retention chatter nearly deadline day conversation that we'll have today, because that's what I'm talking about. Full marks. I hope you liked it, because that's the man that everyone's grown to love over the past 2 weeks or so. Most trusted name in news, all the way from Baker Street. Cricinfo's very own Sherlock, but he's promised me, or he's warned me not to make this about him. So I'm not going to talk about Nagraj Golapuri, but all of you have every right to ask him whatever you want. We're live on what's a very special occasion and a festive time. So season greetings and happy Diwali to whoever's celebrating all around the world. And thank you for all the love that you've given Nagraj over the course of the last 2 weeks on our Cricinfo chatter videos, and all the hate that you've given Dustin, Adi, and myself. So we are just we take it all and accept it. Dustin, good evening. Adi, good evening. And Nagraj, we've tried to come up with the most informed gossip we can give you. We've had some fun. We hope you didn't take us too seriously. Some of you didn't get the memo in the first video. You all have literally started quoting us like it's gospel, like the franchises are watching this and then deciding what to do. No, it's not the case. We're just trying to keep the buzz going, and we are relying on something that comes from somewhere. There's no smoke without fire. But Nagraj is our fire. Nagraj, today is a day where you get to answer the questions of the common public. This is Nagraj ke man ki baat. You can say whatever you want when the questions come your way. What has changed from the last time that we recorded, where we discussed RCB, Punjab, KKR, among other things? How do we want to start this? Tell me, what do you want to say to your millions of followers right now?
Happy Diwali. अब और क्या बोलेंगे, सब फटाके तो फुट गए अभी.
I swear. Okay, please put your questions on our YouTube live. You could even send them to us on social. I'm going to try and monitor everything that I can. Any updates on Pant? Ayush Jindal. That's a damn good last name.
And it's a Jindal asking you, huh?
Yeah, I picked that up. Jindal is asking you, any updates on Pant?
Let me ask Parth. I think from all the little knowledge we have, Delhi have not yet finalized. If we have to trust the people, or the people I'm talking to at least. As we speak, probably both owners, if it's again true, are meeting Rishabh this evening. If that's again true, I have to keep repeating myself, so pardon me for that, because these are the kind of things that these are sensitive discussions that are happening, so you don't want to kind of disrupt anything. So yeah, the owners are meeting Pant, and based on that, probably then they will finalize the combination of their retentions. The other names that we already discussed in the past remain on paper, at least Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, for sure these two, Abhishek Porel as an uncapped retention, and probably Tristan Stubbs. That's what could end up being the final retention list, including Rishabh.
Just say that again, Nagraj, for our benefit. We're just making our notes. We'll have a chat. So you're saying Akshar, Kuldeep, Porel, and Stubbs.
Stubbs is, I don't know for sure, but these are the names on paper being talked about.
What could be the reason why Pant is not an obvious deal by now? You sense other franchises are interested in him?
One reason for sure. That's a no-brainer that other franchises would be interested in someone like Pant for sure. But also it could be that the negotiations could center around whether it could be about captaincy for all you know. Maybe the franchise owners want Pant, the player, to kind of prosper and kind of lighten his load as far as captaincy goes. Maybe Pant wants the captaincy and is very confident. Maybe he wants certain other things which we don't know, because it's also understand this, that the Capitals have gone for an overall also in terms of the coaching staff since Ponting stepped down. After that, you have an Indian head coach now in Hemant Badani, who has a decent bit of coaching experience for sure, as on the coaching staff and different other franchises and elsewhere in the T20 circuit. But as a head coach, it would be a new beginning for him, a new challenge for him. Also for Venugopal Rao, former India batter, who played for Delhi Daredevils in the past, so he is the team director. So all this is new and Pant has been the captain, so he would want to continue for sure. And at the same time, what the new coaching staff thinks, we don't know yet. So yeah, that's why probably there is a sort of a no clarity as such or responsible.
Okay. Anyone wants to add anything? I'm being flooded by questions. There's one that says
there's-
that Adani
before
wants deep
Rana-
McGill. So that's one. Yeah, and also, yeah, rule for today is none of us interrupt Nagraj. That's been very, very clear. So Nagraj goes
No,
on.
please
I
carry on.
interrupted you.
I'm sure
I
Adi,
interrupted
Adi
you.
has things to say. Go
Yeah,
on, Adi.
you I have no time for now, Adi. This is the last that we're going to be meeting. I'm not sending you the Bali sweets, but now, Adi, you can say something, please.
No, so just to before we move on from Delhi to some other team, there are two other names which are being discussed, which is Jake Fraser McGurk and Harry Brook. Those are the two names
Harry
being
Brook.
contemplated.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Was he bought for 6 crores last time? Was it how
four
much?
four odd
Harry
four odd.
Yeah.
4 odd, yeah. And
Brook
then
was
he
4.
had to
The
pull out for
previous
personal
auction he was
reasons.
13, and he was
Yeah, that was SRH.
yeah. Fraser McGurk, obviously, as all of us know, it's a 50 lakh. He was bought for 50 lakhs or so. So there are two other names which are being
surprised if
discussed.
Brook would be retained. I mean, due respect to Brook, but Brook
Yeah.
as a retention, that's news to me. First time hearing of it. Interesting. Okay, let's keep with the questions. Oh my God, they're just flooding away. I'm going to try my best to scan through this. Thanks so much, guys. Siddharth Kupat wants to know about Russell, as does Aditya Madhavan. How and why is Russell not being retained? What can you tell us?
I think it's anyone's guess. The Russell is like he's done everything possible for an all-rounder, and KKR. He has played for the franchise since 2014 probably. He won them an IPL or played a lead role, playing his first final last IPL. He's done that, but he's going to be 37 next year. So the franchise might think that we are looking at the next cycle of 3 years. Do we want to the money is also an important factor there. A player of that stature would want a certain, last time I think ahead of the 2022 mega auction, he was their lead player, Raunak, Adi, Dustin.
Yes.
I think, 12 crores or something. So he might obviously want a certain number in his mind. Does the franchise think, it's not whether they think he's worth it, but all these other things would have possibly come into play here, and they still have. I mean, the one thing we need to have gone with the word likely, right, or said to. So it's still possible that anything can happen till deadline time. Negotiations happen at the last minute. Suddenly there change of mind, franchise as well as the player or player manager thinks differently. But right now, as we stand here, I think Russell is likely to go to the auction, where I mean, then it's up to KKR if they have one RTM left, so they can utilize that if they wish for him.
Yeah, I think with Russell, with Russell, fitness is always kind of a question about him. I was just looking at his stats from the CPL, and he didn't do a lot of bowling in the CPL, which could suggest, like, that's always the question, right? Like, is he going to be fit enough to bowl you 4 overs every game, or are there going to be issues with that? And then that creates a debate about what his worth is, because of course if Russell is bowling 4 overs every game and doing that job with the bat, you would say he's worth even up to 18 crore, but you never know what kind of discussions have happened within the franchise and what evaluation has been done of his fitness.
Okay, I want to discuss two things before we take more questions on Russell. One, if he goes into the auction, how much do you sense he'd go for? Let's just have some fun here. Russell, I think all you need is 2 franchises. Remember, with the purse to go, and I can see Russell getting at least as much as what he was on for the last 3 years. I can see him getting in the range of 12, maybe even more. So what's our number?
Yeah, it's a good fair marker, 12, around the 12 mark.
Anyone disagrees?
Easily 12 to 15.
15, okay, Dustin?
Yeah, I would say
12 to 15.
In the range of 15. Like,
okay, that's big. And that's the thing. I think KKR's conundrum is that they want to keep their core Indian players, key Indian players. They feel like you can still get the substitute skill set for Russell. And dare I say, I don't know, Nagraj, you can add anything on whether Ramandeep Singh is being considered as a uncapped retention. But I think with Ramandeep, as his stocks grow up, they almost see that someone who's an Indian can possibly, it's only big shoes to fill, but he could play under Russell's role. So if they are passing the baton on in that position, I can see why. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I can see why you'd want to release Andre Russell. Just a thought to keep in mind.
Money again, right? Money again. Like, it allows you to kind of look at Russell as a potential buy with an RTM probably, or also look for other options which are probably long term. I mean, there's also, you have to look at roles. So right now, if you have two bowling all rounders already as uncapped guys in Harshit Rana and Ramandeep, who has shown enough glimpses of that he can be nurtured into a decent all rounder. So why not? He won't. We are not saying that in the Russell category. I can't think of who else is there in the Russell category. What Russell has done. So,
you already have Narayan who opens the batting
yes,
and can bowl. So you have, and especially with the impact player rule staying, they might figure that okay, we can build a really good bowling attack, so that you don't need the bowling of Russell. Say you don't get Russell back, you can still have a very strong bowling attack, and you've got enough batting. That might be the logic for KKR.
Yeah, but you made a very good point, Dustin, about the fitness. The fitness is a very key factor here at CPL, especially because Russell's workloads have been managed in the past several years, and KKR has played a lead role in that to keep him fit. So they obviously will know something in terms of long term from 37 to 40. Can Russell handle that kind of a workload? And increasingly, the pressure in the he was one of the best. I think I don't have the exact numbers right now, but he was one of the at the second half in the death overs or in the second part of an innings. I think he was a very key bowler for KKR. Or across the tournament, his numbers were really good. But can he continue doing that? Probably that's one question KKR dealt with and checked, and maybe they didn't. Yeah.
While we're on
for a couple of I think a couple of years running, he's been there. Amongst the top wicket takers, but I think like all of you guys mentioned, at least 4 years. Last year was the first time when he had a good time with the bat and ball. Or else, I remember 21 and probably some part of 22 also, he was primarily playing as a batter. So, with all this in mind, I think it's a very sensible decision by KKR.
Yeah, I mean, Russell tends to be really good before the big auction. Just by coincidence, just nothing else to it. But it just so turns out that he's actually had great years. I'm not saying it with any tongue in cheek. I'm saying actually he tends to have good years. So if you're getting 1 out of 3, then maybe you take your bets at the auction and see what Russell's value is. Who knows? If other people don't bid as high, you have an RTM, you get him back. So that's KKR for you. Since we're sticking with KKR, Indu Setia, Shreyas Iyer. Any updates on Shreyas Iyer, who last time we spoke, I think we said is on his way to the auction?
Yeah, and still that's not changed. I don't think that might change. That might change if the reading as well as in the info that I have, it's unlikely because other franchise, clearly one big talking point or other factor in favor as far as Shreyas goes is because other franchises are on the lookout for a captain, Indian or overseas, but mostly people look for Indian captain. So yes, and we can't confirm because no one will confirm that. Whoever has made the overture towards Shreyas, but 1 or 2 franchises, it seems, have already made it clear to him that they would be interested. So that gives him that negotiating chip. The chip at the negotiating table saying that, look, people are interested, so I would like this certain kind of a price. So we don't know whether KKR wanted Shreyas as the top retention, possibly. One thing is very clear that they were in touch with Shreyas. The concerned people were in touch with Shreyas to, it seems, had kept him in the loop to sort of, give an idea about in terms of retentions, etc., or understand what and probably the feeling they got might have been Shreyas would want a certain, so some things in his favor, and so maybe that didn't work out, and that's the best way out. Maybe he goes to the auction and then KKR look at buying him back, probably.
Ubaid has a good follow-up question on this. Why would someone like Shreyas Iyer want to leave KKR and play for any other team when he's had the opportunity to lead one of the 3 most successful sides? He says if it was CSK or MI, he gets it. But any other franchise would be like a step down. And that I'm just trying to read between the lines. And I get it because we tend to have these perceptions of playing for the big 4, RCB included, even though they've never won. But yeah, why would Shreyas want to leave KKR and say become captain at Delhi or at Punjab, for example?
Well, we were actually discussing this in office just the other day. And I think one theory people came up with is that, look, maybe his end goal is to get back into the India team. And, at KKR, one of the things that happens with Shreyas is he's sometimes overshadowed by the other players because there are so many stars there. He bats at number 4. very often he's playing kind of second fiddle in a partnership with somebody. Maybe there's another franchise that has said that, listen, and maybe Nagraj can tell us, like, has he been promised a position, like you will be number 3, for example, or maybe he feels that at another franchise I can really shine and be
really
the sort
tough,
of
really tough to even accept something like that. Like a new franchise commits that you're going to be a number 3, number 4. I can see the sense. Yeah, I mean, captain.
But also say, like you're also. I feel, I don't know what Shreyas is thinking, but he's also then putting himself in a very vulnerable position. What if today he has a comfort of playing for a franchise which has made him the captain, so given him a certain. There is comfort level already there, but now he goes to a new franchise, regardless of, let's say, even if it's Punjab, and where he has worked in the past with Ponting, but that's been a while ago, 4 years back or something, probably that. So even if they know each other well and all that, even for Ponting, this is a new challenge, new franchise. The grounds, everything. I mean, so different. So I don't know. I mean, like, is he exposing himself? But again, like Justin, you guys were talking about in the office, probably. He feels he thinks he needs to kind of go to a place where he can show that he can be the sort of a impact player, which might kind of work in his favor. Today he doesn't have a central contract. Remember, he's still So those are things that.
But doesn't he effectively qualify for a central contract after he's picked for Sri Lanka? I think that was done, right?
I think you have to play a certain number of games, right? Before you
certain number of matches to qualify.
But he's on his way, I guess. As long as he plays enough ODIs or whatever. But I would think, like, if there's so much unknown when it's a big auction, I don't know if they're going to retain Venki Iyer, Nitish Rana, if they're going to get the RTM on Phil Salt. You never know what Phil Salt goes for. So if they're not going to get Andre Russell, there might be a very different looking KKR side. So Iyer, the batter, even though he didn't have much to do last season because of the form of Narayan and Salt and some of the others, there's always a chance that he could have had that exact role with KKR. So I guess whatever goes on in the player's mind, we never know. But we wait and see.
One last question on this, maybe Adi can answer, is that how much do you think Russell and Iyer not being there has to do with also the coach and Abhishek Nair leaving? Is that a factor maybe in both these guys, not staying on with KKR?
The mentor and Abhishek.
The mentor, sorry.
And no, I think it depends on who you're asking. I think Shreyas or KKR. Is Shreyas leaving KKR or KKR letting go of Shreyas? It depends on who you're asking. But I don't. I think you're probably there, Dustin, because it will have something to do with the coach and. KKR, obviously, they had huge expectations of Shreyas when they landed him in 2022. If I'm not wrong, he and Ishan Kishan were their top targets. So they went in with 2 very, very clear targets in 2022. So Shreyas is someone they coveted for some time and then got him. So I'm guessing expectations must have fallen off at some point, and that's probably the reason for it.
Okay, Adi, I'll give Nagraj some time to breathe. There's one that's come for you. I saw it a little while back. I think it's from Murli Krishnan who's saying, can Adi please clarify the situation surrounding the RCB captaincy, because his words became like they were picked up by, I saw RCB fan accounts on X, formerly Twitter, take it to another level, and then multiple cricket influencers, if I can call them that, have gone around quoting it. So Adi,
we have influenced the influencers.
Yeah, power, real power, the Illuminati of cricket. Go on.
Okay, then.
Go on, Adi.
No, I think so. If the question is whether Kohli has made it clear, I think it's. I mean, I cannot tell you 100%, but from whatever I've heard, yes, he wants to be captain. He wants to captain the team. Probably, I can try and answer the why part of it, which is, say, Kohli is probably out of the T20. So he retired from the T20A team. He doesn't have. He doesn't hold the India captaincy anymore, and 17 years, 18 years. So he's probably won everything that there is there to be won in cricket, be it a test series down under, a World Cup, Champions Trophy, T20 World Cup, everything. But this is one thing that has eluded him for 17 long years. This is a very, very long time in cricket. It doesn't matter what form of cricket you're looking at. So probably that hunger is what is driving him to do all this. Maybe that's the reason why why he wants to take up captaincy and then is desperate to end the drought.
Okay, let me just
point out that this is like the 5th time during this series that Adi has pointed out how many seasons Kohli has not won the title at RCB. Just pointing out to the RCB fans.
But the RCB fans love him.
That has got nothing to do with me being from Chennai, so it's okay.
And I was just going to say,
are you sledging? Are you sledging someone? Are you reminding this person that?
I'm not. Sorry.
Adi, what is your history again with the IPL? Please tell your viewers who may not know you like we do.
See, as a matter of fact, I've never supported any franchise. Okay, I've never, even though I'm
not grilling you in a grand way.
I'm just no. I was going to come to that. So yes, I've supported RR in the auctions for about 8 to 9 years, and I've been in the RR auction table for a couple of years, including the mega auction in 2018 and the auction that followed the year or the year after that. I can't remember. So I've been pretty much been involved in the auction process and the auction thought process for more than a decade. So
excellent.
That's where
brilliant. That's what I wanted to hear. All right, and I'll just help Adi a little bit there. Few franchises talk to me, but I can at least say that the one thing that I've picked up is that this has come at Kohli's behest, and it came as far back as towards the end of last season. So if that is indeed the case, then we're looking at a time which was before perhaps the T20 World Cup. Only he knows whether he decided at that time, that he wants to retire from T20Is, or he would have called that anyway or left it open. You never know. But yeah, this doesn't come as an impulsive call recently. It's been at his heart is what I've picked up. But the franchise remains open. They're going to consider him very strongly. They haven't officially named anybody. They're going to see how the auction plays out. So that's what we have for you. It's a damn good prospect, though. I like it.
It is.
Okay. More questions. They're coming away. I'm going to let Suketu, our dear producers, who's going to just scan through these questions because they're like millions of them right now. So many of them. A lot of questions on MI, but we'll come to MI later. Let's take Sai Varshit for CSK. Why are CSK retaining Dube? Shouldn't they take a gamble and RTM him? He may not go more than 12 or 14.
Could it be because of? Do you want to say something, Adi? Go on.
No. Go for it.
No, I'm saying could it be because of the dearth of Indian power hitters in the lower order, especially? I don't know. I mean, there's also Rizvi kind of a guy, but this is a guy who Shivam has rated for his, especially against spin. I'm not sure. Already if we know GT might retain Tewatia and Shahrukh. So if they retain, let's say, these two guys who are also in the same band in terms of power hitting finishers, Indian power hitting finishers, which is a commodity that is not so easily available. And so probably they're looking at that from that point of view. And I think Dube did bowl a few overs here and there. So he can kind of be a part-time seamer. So on sticky pitches. So there is a probability that, the only other option for Dube is what? Conway. Probably they would have thought about Conway. I can't think of anyone else.
But what is the bracket they are planning for Dube, Naga?
I think 18 is
14, right?
I think it has to be 14, 18, right? Oh, 14. So let's say if you think of Jadeja will be 18. No, wait, Jadeja will be 18.
Yeah.
Dube will be 14, right?
Okay, so 14.
So then by this question, the person asking itself is saying 12 to 14. So that's
answering the question.
However, I'm just saying, I think Dube at CSK is a definite retention because he's the one guy who neutralizes spin on surfaces which they do want spinning for at least half the season, if not more. It's very hard to find Hardik is probably the only bankable spin hitting Indian all-rounder, and he's not coming to the auction. Or is he? Nobody's not.
And also look at it. Remove Dube, right? He goes to the auction. In the current CSK setup, you're left with Jaddu and Dhoni in lower as a finisher.
Yeah.
So that weakens the back. Yeah. So and Dube has been playing that key role. So why not? Sure. I mean, I would think.
Yeah. I think he just fizzed out just as the World Cup squad was announced. So that made sometimes be a very harsh final memory that fans tend to have, because that second half of the IPL, it just seemed like the minute he made the squad, he couldn't buy a run. So that's a shame. But there's a reason that we saw the best of Dube before that, and to a degree, he's been a highly impactful player even after. So
and keep in mind that not every power hitting batsman finds the Chepauk surfaces easy. So, like Ronak was saying, you have someone who knows how to play there. So that adds value.
A lot of questions are coming saying Dube at 18 crore. Is that out in the news somewhere? Perhaps it's the buzz that it's at 18.
I honestly will not
be that Jadeja is not the top retention. Dube is one, and maybe Jadeja, or are both at 18. Like you can also have 18. No, but if
you can slices anyway. Yeah, still.
Yeah, but if you have 4 retentions, 1 and 4 anyway become 18, right? So you can have 2 18 crore retentions.
Yeah. So if I think I all assume Gaikwad is 18, right? Surely the captain.
You would think, yeah, captain.
Maybe the captain has done a selfless act, of which there is some news today being put up by the GT fan circle that Shubman Gill apparently has agreed to take a smaller share of the pie in order for the franchise to retain more. Nagraj, tell us more.
Tell you what, that Shubman Gill has taken less money. Boss, I don't know. Firstly, we don't even know who GT is. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a franchise where Gill actually was paid less than Tewatia also last auction, if I remember.
Check the money that he was on after the trade.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trade. They picked him up at the trade, right? When Titans was formed.
He got 8.
The draft.
Did he get 8
the draft.
Sorry,
in the draft. I keep saying trade. Draft, yeah. And 8 crore for Gill, and Tewatia was picked up at 9.
Was 9.
But that was like a 22-year-old Gill who he's not the Gill of today. The player they picked up.
And he's also the captain now and all that. So, I mean, for all you know, and the way Ashish Nehra has worked, and it's worked in their favor. Last time, remember when Hardik Pandya and Rashid Khan were retained, both of them were paid the same amount of money. And so that kept them both happy. So in this case, I don't know what the slice is for Gill. It could be, I mean, for all you know, it could be Gill and Rashid who might be getting paid the same amount of money once again.
Same amount.
And may not be like one top retention or something like that. And then you have the other 3 other guys who might get lesser. So
no, and think of, say, for example, if I were Gill, so I know that I have a trusted coaching setup. I know my captaincy is guaranteed, and I have a team under disposal. And obviously, he is something. If I may say it, he's probably one of the future leaders of Indian cricket. So why would you even consider going elsewhere and have doubts about captaincy? If everything is set for you, so it makes sense for him to stay. Even if he were to take a hit, it still does make sense for him to stay at Gujarat.
Yeah, and he has a very good relationship with someone like the head coach. So that is a big thing. That is most important. I think we have spoken of all the names. We have spoken about the relationship between the head coach and the captain is important. Even at KKR Shreyas, and today we just touched upon that point that without Gambhir and without Abhishek Nair, does Shreyas feel like he is on his own or something like that? I don't know, but it could be a point that might have crossed his mind to think of going to the auction. So,
okay, let's try and take as many as we can. Arav, I'll take Arav's in a second. Arvind, thanks, Suketu. Nagraj sir, did KL, Rahul and LSG?
I'll let Ronak answer that.
Oh man, I'm meeting the man actually this weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're meeting the owner or the
no the player. Anyway, so let's talk about it. Nagraj, carry on.
Seriously, I don't have an answer for this.
Okay, so the last that your story carried was subject to any last minute changes. Rahul looks like he's set to the auction. As of today, 30th October 1934 IST, do you still stick by the story, or are developments perhaps, are there like any changes to those developments?
Yeah, I haven't heard any change of mine.
Okay. So is it mutual or how did it actually go on? What I have gathered is that the captaincy was a big part of the decision, and that was not something that was being committed to KL, and therefore I think every other conversation and decision stemmed from there. That's what I've got from my sources there. And that's, I guess, self-explanatory there. KL may still not end up at a franchise where he will be captain, but he was definitely told here that they want to look at a different role, a different player as leader. That's what I've.
Possibly.
No, nothing to add. Two of you guys keep on.
Do you guys think that LSG will announce Pooran as captain tomorrow, or will they wait? You think till the auction?
No, I don't think. No one would announce.
I don't think anyone's announcing anything until
anyone
the auction.
can announce a captain. Yeah, they won't take that.
Yeah,
kind of
they're under
things.
no compulsion to announce. So
I know,
Yeah.
but it's just like.
But
branding,
going back,
showing faith in
Ronak,
the
the
player.
point that you make about the captaincy is true. It is like it was one talking point which was there on the table for a while, and it. You're right that I don't know about what Justin Langer and Zach, who has just joined as the mentor, they think about it. But I think the owners probably thought that maybe KL not being the captain and just playing probably would help. So help him also and the franchise also. So maybe there was a disagreement from the player's point of view. He might have thought that it's not actually adding to my burden, it's actually allowing me to kind of do well. So that was the maybe mutually they agreed to disagree in that. So in that sense. So yeah.
Personally, if I were KL, I'm just saying if the captaincy was going in a different direction, I just think it makes complete sense for him to try his luck at the auction in search of potentially then playing, even if he's not captain, but playing at let's fuel the fire of the rumor. Potentially playing at RCB. I can see him being happy playing at RCB, not as captain. I can see him being happy playing at CSK, not as captain. I don't see him being happy playing at LSG, not as captain, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm just summing it up that way. So I don't mind KL going there. And I think I don't see a Punjab reunion happening because that too is that relationship.
that's not going to happen.
Matter of the past.
But Raunak, think of it this way: so playing a full season with as a batter and not as captain would actually do a world of good to Rahul. The last time he played with so much freedom and then where he could just bat and then not worry about anything else was 2019. I think he ended up getting some 650, 700 runs or whatever. So even though he did manage to score the same in 2020 and 21, but it was not with the same efficiency. And that's when the strike rate conversation started blowing up and everything, because whether it's the captaincy, you don't know. It could be because of captaincy. He was trying to be more cautious, etc. But I think playing a season just as a batter would do a world of good for Rahul.
Yeah, there's this famous stat that Yash Jha likes to share about how Indian batters, as soon as they get captaincy in the IPL, their strike rate almost always dips in the very next season.
Okay, I think it happened to Gill also last year.
Since we're on that, I was going to bring this up during Shreyas, but we went on for a while. Has it ever happened that an IPL winning captain has entered the auction?
Never.
Never, right? Even in the olden days.
We were discussing yesterday. No IPL winning captain has ever been let go of in the immediate year.
I think that's the shock of this whole retention cycle that Shreyas has not retained.
IPL winning is done.
We still have more to discuss. Who knows what else is likely to happen?
Hold on.
What you're talking about? You're thinking about Gilchrist or something?
No, I'm thinking I'm coming very close to not like for like situation was. What was KW situation when he was let go?
He didn't win the IPL. He made the final.
He didn't win the IPL. Right?
He was retained, right?
But he didn't win the
IPL. IPL.
Yeah. They came close, and that was the year they didn't have Warner. But yeah, there's that. Okay, we had a Nitish Kumar Reddy question, but I'm going to take some MI questions after this one because that's what we're building up to, right? Anywai, Sai Srivastav asks, don't you guys think Nitish Reddy at 6 CR has to be one of the great buys of SRH? How much do you think he would have gone in the auction? Definitely more than that.
Yeah. It's a steal. I mean, the prices that SRH have managed to get their players for, even Travis Head for that matter, at 14 crores, you would think that if Travis and Nitish came to the auction, Nitish would clearly think that he would get in the range of 10 crores probably, if I'm being
I would think more
realistic.
I would say way more.
I mean, just as a starting point. Yeah, maybe. Why would you think more, by the way? Hold on.
I mean, Indian seam bowling all-rounder, there's only one other player like him, which is Hardik Pandya, who's not in the auction. There's no other player who can bat at that strike rate at number 6, 7 and bowl about 140.
He's actually a better batter than even 6 and 7. He's potentially
Yeah, I mean,
4
No,
and
no, he
5.
can bat. He showed, no, he
it's
showed
even
4
more
times.
valuable that he can play at 6 and 7 is what I mean.
And let's
Because you
not
don't
forget,
have players who can do that job.
just because of the impact player doesn't mean that genuine all-rounders will still have value. In fact, their value has not decreased because of the impact player. It's the up-and-coming ones. So I must say I can add something from my intel at SRH. I want to really show some appreciation on the record for Nitish Reddy, because I think he's allowed for SRH to have the players retained that they have in many ways. I don't think he primarily thought of the franchise in that sense, but in a way he's thought of it as he's happy where he is at the club. It is his home state, and he doesn't want the pressure of what can happen sometimes at an auction. Imagine if he goes for 14-15 crore, his India career has only just begun. That's what I've gathered. So I believe Reddy has been happy to be retained for a lesser amount, and I think for a young Indian player, with I'm sure many agents and advisors telling them regularly, go in and maximize your money right now or your worth right now. I think that's well done, Nitish Kumar Reddy.
And
That's what.
And to take that point forward, or rather to add to that, your point, Ronak, is like there were approaches made by rival franchises to NKR that clearly
NKR.
that
That's what Naga does. He gives people really catchy little initial names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean he was told that or asked by other guys to in as many ways come to the auction. So and he did have a conversation, more than one conversation, I believe, with the SRH management. But he agreed, like you say, he agreed that I think in terms of his future growth, in terms of where he comes from, and the franchise did kind of retain him after picking him 2 years back for a base price 20 lakhs, etc. He felt that maybe he would be looked after much better here. He has more security here probably in terms of his role. And one other point is Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins has played a very key role here. No doubt, Vittori and all that are coaches, etc. But Pat Cummins has played a key role, and he lined up the players he wanted. You can see that he is not the top retention at the franchise. It's somebody else. But it's I believe that Cummins actually wanted Klaasen and Head for sure. And Klaasen has became the top buy because Klaasen was being sought after, because we've already discussed Klaasen is in the league of Puran, and these are the only couple of guys who can do the roles they do. And as an all-rounder, he will go easily to 20 odd crores. So that's where the franchise said, fine, I'm going for 23, and they checked with Cummins, and Cummins was totally fine with that. So it's an interesting way to turn around that they already have a captain now. They already have like so many different. They have an Indian all-rounder, two openers, two like terrific openers.
And they have a captain who can like also bat at number 7.
Yes.
Big hitter at the death, fast bowler. They have. I mean, it's a ridiculous set of players they have already at the franchise.
Doesn't correct me if I'm wrong. So what this 6 crore retention? Obviously, it's a steal for SRH. There's no two ways about it. SRH have managed to do something which a lot of franchisees don't do, retaining 3 overseas players. If my memory serves right, I don't think ahead of a big auction, 3 overseas players have been retained. So, which is actually
the rule didn't allow for it either.
For SRH.
The rule didn't allow for it in the past.
Really?
You could only retain up to
That was only 2, I think. This is
2,
the first time
there was a cap of 2.
So that was one of the changes made, and I'm sure SRH was that was their number one list on the what rules would you like. So,
Adi, don't you remember this from the days that you were telling overseas players, sorry, we can't retain you because of the rule?
okay, let's
Were
take
you,
the question.
Adi, were you? Sorry, go on.
Carry on. No, carry on, Naga. Come on, you're having some fun.
No, I'll have fun later.
Let's
take an MI. Let's
go. Mr. Patnaik, let's go. If MI retain Rohit, Sky, Bumrah, Hardik, Sky and Bumrah primary choice, will Rohit and Hardik accept to stay in MI for a low price? Firstly, I just need an MI question because that's what we want to discuss. What's going on? Are the big boys all going to hold hands and play?
Not important, but I think I have to take a guess. I will think they will stay. What I'm very, very curious about is how does MI slice the pie?
So you're saying all 4 plus Tilak Verma is what you believe is?
Is my guess. is a pure guess and no informed inside info, etc. So I think, yeah, those five, but very curious to know how do you slice? Do you then do as MI does? I was thinking, do MI do actually what SRH has done and pay Tilak less? And
Nagraj,
then
there's a question on screen for you, all yours.
All right, let's take a vote here. Okay, I ask you, Ronak, who's your captain?
My captain would be Surya Kumar Yadav.
Same.
Justin.
Surya.
Okay.
I said we've already done this once. I had said Rohit, but chalo, I'll change to Surya just so that people don't accuse us of repeating ourselves.
Then I'll say Hardik.
Oh, man.
This is basically how the MI meeting is going, I think. Yeah. Nagraj. What can you tell us about captains?
Will it be Rohit? Shouldn't it be Rohit to kind of... Personally, I just felt that we have spoken about this, like Dustin said. So I think Rohit would kind of resolve a lot of things on different fronts if he becomes the captain. But does he want to be the captain? I think, Adi, did you point that out earlier in the chat? Not today, but when we were having MI chat, I forget. But does Rohit want to be the captain is also important. And yeah, I think that MI have been very clear to the players, whoever they are retaining, whether it be 4, whether it be 5, they've been very clear to what their plan is. So, and with Mahila back, they would have actually spelled out that who's going to lead, whether Hardik remains the captain, or whether they move back to Rohit, or appoint Surya. I don't know, but yeah. So, who will captain? It's still an open-ended question.
I think it's worth bringing out here what is Hardik Pandya's situation on a more personal front over here. He's been through a lot, and I think it's important to have a conversation in that sense. The Indian captaincy didn't go to him. We know what's happening off the field as well, and you have to empathize with the player here. So it's worth having a chat with Hardik. Who knows? Maybe he right now says, "I just want to play. I don't want to be, focused. The attention. Imagine he walks out first game next season, and for whatever reason, if the crowd still boos him, I think that would be really counterproductive. And that's more on the crowd, not the player. But it could happen. So, would you just want Hardik to do what he did during the World Cup? Be the star all-rounder that he is and, win you games and win you tournaments. That's my 2 bits on it.
Nobody could have wished for a better redemption, right? I mean, World Cup
100%.
to bowl that 100%. Over. I think everything is forgotten. And just to answer that point on captaincy, I don't think anyone, even the fans, will have a point to complain about if they make Surya the captain, because he's India captain. Making him your franchisee captain makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
So I think it's
I would still feel though that if Hardik still has the fire in him, which I'm sure he does, that the whole point of coming to Gujarat, leaving Gujarat, was he'd won a title and nearly won 2 on the trot there. One bad year doesn't make him a bad captain. He's already an IPL winning captain, which is more than a lot of prominent Indian players. And Adi can tell you who all are on that list, but
Kane Williams, Nitish Rana.
Anyway, so I really don't mind. They usually say that when you take big calls in a franchise, you don't just change them in 1 year. And all things considered, MI made him captain. They would have thought of wanting to build a brand around him. Let's be fair, he's a 3-year player. We can't say with absolute certainty Rohit Sharma is. So just by age, by sure.
No, but if you look at CSK, it has happened. Jadeja was appointed, and
yes, correct.
It was different reasons, but it has happened.
Yeah, but
it is for the best of the franchise. If the franchise and the players believe that maybe it's best to change it now before it gets to.
100%. I think the Jadeja situation is a good example, but Jadeja didn't really have any captaincy credentials when he got the job. Also, Hardik has come here at the back of an IPL win and an IPL final. So for me, the minute we heard Jadeja, I remember at the time we were all like, "Oh, this is a surprise," because none of even players who played with him, coaches who coached him, didn't really see him as a leader. Hardik, you could see, was always going to want to lead, and he had the skills. But anyway, we're lingering on. So that's what you've got. So as of now, just to get back to summarize the semi story, we still think all the big boys will be retained. And who's going to be captain is still anyone's guess. But who's the front runner, do you think, Nagraj? Is there a front runner?
I would bet on Hardik and Rohit. Not in any order, but on these two.
Okay. And I don't see any official confirmation coming through about any captaincy, like we've said, right until the end of the auction. Or who knows, maybe not even then. Yeah. Certainly not before the auction. Let's put it that way. All right, Parth. No panel has discussed this yet, but can a franchise go behind Kishan? Apart from last season's success, Indian wicketkeeper, long-term captaincy option. Interesting choice. Kishan.
Right.
Yeah, we touched upon Kishan in one of the videos, didn't we? We did mention that it's not even a mention that their record signing from a few auctions back is nowhere near. But Kishan in the auction would still fetch, I think, a premium. I think he'll fetch a good price.
Yeah, several teams want keeper batter, right?
Yeah,
Opener.
You will look at GT. They want one.
GT is the first one, and an opener as well to fill in Saha's shoes.
Yeah, LSG would want at least one because they have Puran, fine, but
They
still
may
as a
have lost
backup.
KL Rahul. They may have lost KL Rahul.
Yeah. CSK will look for a backup.
If they get him back or no. So
CSK. I'm pretty sure CSK will want, because you're looking at not just 1 year or a backup, you're looking at a long-term one now. So
yeah, I think Kishan has also shown his best as an opener. So I'd be really surprised if a franchise that already has 2 set openers goes for him, because I think he's difficult to fit in at 3 or come in outside the power play, even though he has played that role before. So you have Punjab, you have potentially you have KKR, who don't even have an Indian keeper. Relied on
LSG.
LSG.
Sorry, GT. I meant GT.
Yeah, we start with GT.
We brought up GT, definitely. RCB to replace RCB to replace
MI itself.
MI itself, yeah, but MI, I think MI and SRH are the 2 franchises that may not have the purse. So that's what I.
And MI this time would really want to buy a spinner.
Who knows? Okay, let's take another one. RCB need a long-term Indian captain and keeper. What about Pant? Is he coming in the auction? Well, we brought up Pant at the start of the show. We started with him. But I think KL Rahul looks like a smarter bet if you want to just take a punt. All the news is already, the gossip's already out there.
I like the idea of Pant because RCB have historically lacked finishers. And somebody like Pant at the Chinnaswamy with all the behind the wicket shots, the scoops, the reverse scoops. I like the idea of a Pant at RCB.
Yeah, with no DK, they have to find somebody in the finisher.
Yeah, top order. I mean, you'll have Kohli as one of your openers, and then maybe you buy back a Faf or somebody else. You have Will Jacks, who you might get on an RTM at number 3. That number 5, number 6 spot is where you kind of need somebody. Patidar is there, number 4.
I'm just saying, I think Pant the finisher hasn't really been a reality in the last few years. After the incident, Pant, even the Indian team sent him to high up the order in the World Cup for good reason, you'd think. So I think Pant is likely to be a franchise that will play him in the top 3, maybe 4.
Which is why I feel with RCB, so if you have Kohli and you have Jacks and Patidar at 3, I'm wondering Kishan and Pant are top order guys, or at least in the top
Kishan
4.
is an opener. Okay, I think Kishan's best is
so I'm trying to think. So Kishan might fit in as an opener there at RCB. I would see that kind of thing.
Justin, I see someone like Jorel filling DK's role pretty well over there.
I was just going to say that. I think there are for RCB. I'm from an RCB point of view. If I was thinking, I'm going out for a keeper. They have a lot of options. There's Rahul, there's Pant, there's probably Pant, there's Kishan, there's Dhruv Jurel. I think Jitesh Sharma, for all you know. So plenty of good options.
Jitesh is the other option. Yeah. I think Jurel personally, I feel though we are discussing RCB. Someone is asking.
I mean, we can take Cristiano Ronaldo sending us a question.
Yeah, we'll segue into
make the one of the goats of the game wait like this. And he's asking us whether Joss Butler and Yuzi Chahal are going into the auction. Are they, Nagraj?
Yeah. There are strong signals, I feel, that they might be at the auction. Yeah.
Okay.
But talks are on for who knows what. I don't know. But going back to Jurel, I think RR will not leave Jurel.
Okay. RR will not leave Jurel.
I feel, Jurel will be. In some way they will buy him back.
Jurel will go for a premium, I think, at the auction. And they already have Jaiswal, Samson, Parag. You have Samson as a keeper. Yeah. You could RTM Butler. That's 2 keepers. I hope for Jurel, he doesn't go back to RR. He doesn't maximize his...
You can't do Jurel at 18 again, no, Naga? That's the thing. Because
you have your 18. Why? You can have Jaiswal at 18.
Yeah.
You think Jurel will be in the retentions?
Look, if I am picking the team, if I were to giving the 5 options, I might think about him. I'm saying, why not? If I'm not thinking of Butler because of whatever different factors where he is right now, if Chahal is not part of my initial list,
But
I look at Joel.
I think if you're not thinking of Butler, you'd be thinking of another overseas, wouldn't you? You'd be thinking of either Hetmeyer, maybe Trent Bolt.
Or maybe a bowler.
No, not Trent Bolt currently at that price.
Okay, but let's say they're not keeping Butler because they want more RTM options, bigger purse. That's also a possibility. You could always RTM Butler. I just think in all those cases, there are a lot of players RR would want. I think Chahal should be top of that list to RTM if he's going into the auction.
Yeah.
Maybe even R Ashwin to get him back at a decent amount. We know Rahul Dravid rates him highly, Samson rates him highly, so why not? But there's your answer. So Chahal and Butler are auction bound. They may be RTM.
See, I think 2022 RR got a lot of. They basically got a lot of teams sleeping, so they were actually very, very, very fortunate to land a Chahal and Ashwin at 11. So there's no chance it's going to happen again. So it probably makes sense from there, from an RR point of view, to keep hold of just 4 and then go in with an extra cushion if you want to land your preferred spinner, because your leg spinners will come into play in the 7 matches that you're going to play in Jaipur, or 4 in Jaipur and 3 in Guwahati, wherever.
Yeah, but the wrist spinners, I don't understand why wrist spinners are not. You have started an auction. Why wrist spinners are not like the most expensive buys outside of, let's say, Rashid?
Yeah.
I mean, though Vanindu got like, that was a mini auction, right?
1075. 1075. No, mega auction 1075.
When you're talking about Rashid and Vanindu,
but he was all-rounder. He classified himself as an all-rounder.
But Naga, look at it this way. So I think they're probably paying the price for coming a little late. So the spinner's lot is generally the 4th or 5th lot. So maybe that's the price they're paying. Maybe if you move them up higher, you never know.
So I'm just thinking, if Chahal is being released, let's say he was released to the auction, and you're talking about a player he's the highest wicket taker, his economy is pretty strong, he performs, he bowls at death, more importantly, not many do that. I'm trying to think that RR releasing him, is it also because of he's just a one skill set player? He's not an all-rounder, he's not a great fielder. So do you think that they believe that I release them into the auction, maybe the price might be just around the 8-9 mark and I could still use him as an RTM?
And it is a very fair price that you can pay for Chahal, and I'm sure the impact sub is precisely to solve for all these kind of weaknesses that teams have, right? You're one trick pony, you're one skilled players. Right? That's what the impact player is going to do, and I think even they wouldn't mind RTMing Chahal for even 10. So that's the cushion they want to go with. So it's rather better you go in with a cushion than retain some Chahal for 11 crores or whatever the amount is, and then struggle to buy another spinner that you ideally want in your 11.
All right, guys, I'm going to clock a 10-minute clock here. I know we can go on all night for this. So let's take as many questions, try and keep answers rapid, and try and help as many of our viewers. Thanks, guys, so much for sending the questions in. Really appreciate it. And I can see the buzz that there is. There'll be more coming tomorrow too. But Japan Singh for Punjab. Could they end up with the highest purse? And who could they break the bank for? Really nice, snappy questions. Nagraj?
I'll say Andre Russell while Naga thinks. Maybe Russell.
Break the bank. Okay. I say they break the bank for Shreyas Iyer.
Glenn Maxwell.
Oh. It's like, oh my God. It's like a re-release. The retro throwback to the 90s.
Ricky Ponting as a coach.
Yeah, I'll add with an if. So if Pant is out, they are going all out for Pant. Pant will become Punjab captain.
That's a point. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. Rudra, can Washington Sundar be one of the most expensive players in the auction? He was the most expensive Indian player at SRH for 3 years. Yeah.
He was struggling to get into the team, though. That's the issue.
He didn't play at all. He barely has an impact sub couple of occasions.
Yeah.
Didn't really have anything.
That's the impact sub.
But he was haunted by injuries too.
Yeah. But what
that's
about
also
Vashi
there.
Sundar? I know of the grapevine, one of the open secrets of the IPL has been CSK's dear love for Washington Sundar and for him to return to his home state. So I could see CSK being very interested in getting him now that they have the chance at the auction. So I see him Chennai bound. What
His
money? I don't know.
stock is at an all-time high, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think franchises have moved on from just looking at what a player's suddenly done, and that too in a different format. But yeah, there you can do your chances no harm with, performance like that, or fitness, on skill, etc. Harsh, can CSK retain Deshpande? Yeah, I was very tempted for Deshpande. Unfortunately, he got capped. But
Capped.
And he's also right now, I think he's injured. He's back, I think, around Jan. But he would be there on their list. They have a few other players. If the 5 that we have put up so far stand out to be true tomorrow, then Conway will be on that list too. Deshpande, Conway, Rizvi.
Your Shardul.
Oh, wait, I forget Theekshana, Deepak Chahar. Yeah, I think these are the
Shardul
guys.
Thakur, for all you know.
Yeah, but I think, yeah.
So they are looking at one of basically Conway, Tikshana, Deepak Chahar and Deshpande Naga. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, they would.
mean, among the Seamas, I can see Deshpande ahead of those of Shardul and Deepak Chahar at this.
Yeah, Tushar
So-
definitely if he.
Yeah. So that's what I see there. Okay, let's take another one. And remember, CSK will look, you know how they love a familiar group. So even if they run out of RTMs,
Yeah.
they will look to just buy back those players. That's what led to Deepak Chahar's 14 crore price at one auction and, buying back Shardul, etc. Nitin Srikumaran, all experts saying Parag is third player. Pretty sure it's goodbye Chahal as RCB is licking their lips for this moment for 3 years. No way RR can use the RTM as long as RCB is around. Good point. RCB, I'm sure the people inside would hold hand on heart say we made a mistake letting go of Yuzvendra Chahal. I think. But would they be looking to now bring Chahal back to the Chinnaswamy?
I would, yeah, they should. Look at his record, man. You would not have anyone like that. But once again, yeah, and he might not be that big a bid, probably into 8 to 10 crore mark again. And RCB will have that kind of a money, so why not?
Yeah.
So I think what the question was saying is that RCB will go up to even a higher amount for Chahal, so RR will not get to use the right to match because they will be too high. I think that's what the question was.
Okay, so on that note, before we just take this question, are there any developments on RCB, Nagraj? Anything that you'd like to share? Whether they will have that kind of purse? We discussed up to 4 players.
There were 4 players on the list that were being spoken about. Now there's a question mark about one player. I can't name because I don't want to, because I have not put it out myself. So I just want to wait for a little more time without taking names. So I'm being a little cryptic here. Sorry about that, guys. But I think Kohli is a no-brainer. I feel, but
this is a fun game. By the process of elimination, Kohli is a no-brainer.
So there were 4 names.
Now think about 2 names. I'm not going to say anything.
There was Kohli, Patidar, Siraj, and Yash Dayal. These were the 4 names.
So I think we're looking at a capped player here who would actually release their auction purse significantly. And there is I have also.
Okay, let's put it out. Siraj is a question mark. Who cares?
Just say question mark. Yeah, Siraj is the question.
I hate you guys. I hate you.
You did it. I was just teasing you. Okay, so we by all most recent, red hot recent taza khabar is that there might be some doubt on Siraj. I'm sure the franchise will work their way, and this could change by the time this show ends also. But Siraj is not set.
And obviously. And Ronak, sorry, before you move on, so obviously one is related to the other. So you want to free up your purse because you know KL Rahul is coming out, or maybe they know that a Pant is coming out. So how else do you balance it? So
Adi makes an excellent point. There are decisions that now might be coming through from other franchises or other players. Where a Pant would have communicated to certain franchises, Shreyas Iyer for the sake of argument, Chahal or whatever, and then they've suddenly realized, okay, we now actually have a chance at these players, so can we gamble? That's the fascinating part of the
that's what RTMs are there for.
They will be confiscating all the players' phones 2 days before the retention deadline, and the only other person's phone who will also be confiscated is Mr. Sherlock himself.
My God. Thankfully,
Shut up.
if I was
This is
Gautam
becoming
Gambhir,
too much.
yeah, if I was Gautam Gambhir, at least the players that are supposed to be focusing on a test match, I'd be certainly asking them to deposit their phones in a locker room and keep it there for a while. But it is Diwali after all. Okay, last 5 minutes, guys. Ashwin over KL for RCB.
Adi.
Completely different.
I don't think it's a fair comparison. I would say both. But I don't think Ashwin is probably going to have a lot
I think
of
totally
points.
different price points also. Ashwin, I don't think will be like huge money buy in the auction, right?
I don't think Chinnaswamy is a ground for him also. So it's fine. That is sharp.
Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at comments again. Will Mumbai Indians break the bank for spinners this year? Spinners? I don't think they can break any bank, actually. They won't have
They won't have much left in their bank. With 40 odd crores, if these 5 get retained, then what do you have? Break a bank.
Mayank Markande is a guy who had a couple of decent seasons for them. So somebody like that, they might look to buy at a slightly lower
I'm
price.
sure our good friend Mr. Chawla still has a couple of good years in MI colours left in him. Maybe next, does Piyush become eligible for uncapped like at the next cycle or like at the next?
He is
uncapped now.
He's already uncapped.
Yeah, he's uncapped.
Okay, is it true that PBKS has decided to release Arshdeep and gamble on him with RTM? Timeless Asteroid. That's Nagraj's autobiography. Timeless Asteroid.
Timeless Asteroid. What does it mean? Okay. I don't know. Timeless Asteroid, thank you for that lead. I will check. I have no info on that.
Okay. Any more questions? Let's take the last one, perhaps, if we have time. Or is this time where we actually go to our families who might leave us if we sit and do this like on Diwali day? Let's not do that. But guys, thank you so much for all your participation in this. Adi, thank you. Dustin as well, and Nagraj Golapudi joining us live from Baker Street at this point. We look forward to your company tomorrow and over the next few days. Nagraj will be on our live show on the Star Sports Network, which will simultaneously also be on ESPN Cricinfo's platforms. So please join the conversation there. Retention Day is almost here. Big thanks to the rest of the panel, and thank you for joining us on the final verdict on this special IPL retention chatter show on ESPN Cricinfo. We'll see you again soon, and again, very happy Diwali.